Today I'm going to talk about my portrait painting that I have completed for my upcoming solo exhibition at Angelo State University. I'm going to address inspiration, reasoning behind the work, and comments that I got on various platforms. The common one is what's the idea behind the portraits. That's something I'm going to focus on today. The idea for Echoes Vitae materialized during my recent time in Italy, particularly while visiting the Duomo or Cathedral in Orvieto. I was facing the Luca Signorelli's fresco, The Damned Cast into Hell, in the San Brizio Chapel, and observing the 14th century sculptural reliefs of the Last Judgment on the cathedral's west facade. Both of them left lasting impression on me. Both of these works, intensely charged with a depiction of judgment, salvation, and moral consequence, became a foundation for examining how religious iconography continues to shape our collective psyche. Myself, raised Catholic in Poland, I grew up surrounded by visual and narrative representations of morality, sin, and redemption in all forms of art. These ideas weren't abstract, they were integrated or ingrained into the rhythm of daily life. And as a child, I was once told that a person's moral conduct is like a white cloth. Maybe you've heard that story too. Each wrongdoing leaves a stain, and with enough marks, purity becomes hard to reclaim. That image has stayed with me, that visual representation of our soul that reflects in our life as well as metaphorically represent our nature. So my portraits in this exhibition, Echoes Vitae, that will happen at Angelo State University. The exhibition metaphorically represents that white cloth. Each face, as you can see, becomes a surface upon which the aftermath of life is marked. The traces of intention, error, and consequence are embedded in layers of paint. The brush marks function as both a physical gesture and a record of judgment, capturing the obscurity of personal legacy and unseen dimension of character. I return to this metaphor not as a doctrine, but as a lens through which to reflect on how civilization codifies behavior, how belief systems enforce structure, and how the ultimate death becomes an organizing force in both art and life, how those things go together. These paintings explore the fragile space between the physical body and the metaphysical consequences of its actions. So what we do, right? They don't preach or moralize, rather ask. What echoes remains after life ends? What evidence does a life leave behind? It's all about the nature of a human being. Therefore, the series is not a direct reinterpretation of religious dogma or images, but a reinvestigation of its currents. You can see that in the work too. My use of abstraction and fragmented figuration, like this one here, mirrors the ambiguity of what lies beyond life. The forms emerge and dissolve, caught between remembers and erased memories. I would say that in several works that I did, the visual language borrows from cathedral carvings and fresco contours, subject abstracted to the point of near collapse, just as a religious dogma often fades into individual memory and reinterpretation, and also how it reflects on us in a modern society. Does it or does not? In a way, we live in a legacy of those principles. I think that the exhibition is about curiosity. It is an attempt to hold the weight of centuries-old beliefs up to the light of personal experience, my experience, your experience, and to ask how much of that scaffolding still supports us or finds us today as a society. I hope that makes sense.